welcome.
Thank you.
So, Derek and Edna, what's your first recollection of the Bridge Church as it was?
Well,
it's going back to the
Crawford Street days.
Street, yeah.
Okay.
I went when Arthur Smith
Yeah.
and
Jeff
Atkinson were the ministers.
Beautiful, yeah.
We had no pastor then,
Yeah.
and we just clicked, and I stayed there with Edna and Margaret. Then eventually, Pastor Ian came. Oh no, I came first, I'll tell you. When I first became a genuine Christian,
Yeah.
Arthur Smith asked if anybody would like
Yeah.
to put their hand up and become a Christian. So I'll tell you something now, it's genuine. My arm went up as though it was on a string. My arm went up and up and up. And I gave my life to the Lord. And it was a feeling that's never been felt before.
Beautiful.
A feeling of warmth
Yeah.
came into me from that moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you mentioned Arthur, obviously Arthur and Margaret Smith.
Yeah.
You know, it's important that we remember people who introduced you, and as you just said, you made a declaration of your faith. So what do you remember about Crawford Street?
Well, I remember it was just being a long room, a long unit with a baptism at one end, just like a long garage.
Yeah.
The toilets at the other end.
Yeah.
But it got that busy and filled with people coming before, that's what the next phase, that were all standing by the toilets at the back.
Yeah.
It was that big.
You think
Yes.
there were toilets in them days, then?
And then when that Pastor Ian came,
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say, but he asked me then if I'd finished work, I'd retired early, would I look after and run after the churches, then.
So you were then in your gift, which was all sorts of carpentry.
Yeah.
You came and helped us at Crawford Street to do all that.
Well, because, we had no money, so everything was voluntary them days, so it was good.
Brilliant.
It was just a brilliant, just because we had a lot of break-ins there, actually. So anyhow, that was the next phase before we came here.
Perfect. Well, do you remember anything about Crawford Street itself, Edna?
Yes, yeah, I remember. I went there because Margaret invited me, because I didn't know about Pentecostal.
No.
I'd always felt that I knew about Jesus, but not in the same way,
Yeah.
And then she invited me to go. She said she was born again, and I didn't know what she was on about, born again.
Yeah.
And from then on, I went to the Pentecostal church. So I went to Crawford Street first, and then the next stage was when we were walking round the land that we wanted to claim for this building.
And the land was literally just the place we are now as the Bridge Church. That was just a piece of grassland.
Piece of grass.
Yes, yeah.
And you walked and prayed over that.
We did. We walked in a circle round and round and praying. And we knew then, we felt it was right, for...
But prior to getting here, going back to Crawford Street, they had 12 months of sacrifice.
Yeah.
Where people sold the cars and put the money in this offering.
Perfect.
And they sold the cars, they bought old bangers, or they didn't go on holiday. They put all that finance to get finances for this new wonderful building.
So what you're saying there is you, as a family, sacrificed individually and corporately as the church family to help us in the start. It was the British Church, or it was BBC in those days.
BBC, yeah.
It was a year of sacrificial giving.
Beautiful.
And if you wanted to pay for one brick,
Yes.
they asked you for £1,000. So
We could do that.
you had to buy a brick for £1,000.
Yeah.
But there was so much money came through, from different people.
And everybody's just working, there wasn't millionaires.
We had no holiday that year, did we?
No, after.
So that's the sacrificial side, that you were unified in doing it. You all did it as families and individuals, and you volunteered your time. So we call life groups now. Were you involved in that, in opening your home as well to people? Was that part of your journey? Like a life group or home group?
Life groups. We led a life group at home.
Yes, we did. We had, the first one was not long after we'd moved here, was it? We came from Swinton to Bolton. And yeah, we had our own little life group. And that was when Terry Hanford was around as well. And he came every time to support us in our little group. And it just grew bigger, and then it was just great, you know. It was one of those building up relationships with
And open your house up, you see.
Yeah, I did hear as well that you opened your house up to missionaries who would come and visit from...
By Jove, did we?
Can you remember any of those to hand? Any come to mind?
Yes, yeah. The main one was we went with Jean Watson.
Yeah.
If you remember, I don't
Yeah.
We went on a mission to Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And there we met up with, what was his name?
Rudolf Bubeck, that was after...
And he'd been in prison because of his beliefs. And we were helping out, the church was helping out them over there. So we stayed with them for a few days. And then we returned the favour when they came over to stay with us. So that was mind-blowing, really. He had a great story, didn't he?
I heard his story, actually, and read his book. I met him, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that meant you were hosting people, but I also know that you actually did go out on mission, didn't you, too, as you just mentioned there?
Yes,
Edna?
yes.
So, okay, beautiful. Well, we want to say we love you, we appreciate you, we don't forget you, and it's really important that, you know, we're standing, when we say standing on the shoulder of the giants, we're standing on the shoulders of faithful men and women just like yourselves, who've gone before us, who are still perhaps not being able to do what you once did, but nevertheless doing what you can and supporting and encouraging where you can.
Yeah.
And I love the names that you've shared there, which are very important names of our legacy of church life as well.
Yes.
The Margarets, the Arthurs, the list will go on and on. So I thank you both, we honour you both, and we cherish you both. And
Thank you very much.
thank you for sharing a bit of your story.
I was willing, very good.
You're welcome.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed for having us.
Oh, Alan, thank you.